Alright, in the top left-hand corner for Team Elite, we have the blue Protoss player, Havok. In the bottom right-hand corner for Extraterrestrial Gaming, we have Cowman. And we actually saw him on this map the other night, Cowman. And it was also a PvP. So his style, let me think back and see what I can remember about it. He was running... He went into Colossus and he died to charge that Archon. But both of them, I think, went at least a Stargate, and he went an Oracle, so we'll have to see if that's what he's going to repeat here. So far, the lists look the same out of both players, so nothing too surprising at all. And right now, sorry, I'm grabbing that overlay like I was talking about. So the map camera is going to be in the same position for just a second. All right, let's see. Okay, cool. Think that looks pretty good. You guys will have to inform me when it gets to it. And the top middle, you should actually see some scores, so that should help hopefully this evening with figuring out what's actually going on, how far it is. Easy visual representation. I might have to toss some together as we go though, so I didn't actually get all of them finished. Alright, so far, nothing too crazy out of both players. Havok going for double gas, Cowman going for double gas, you know, pylons in normal positions. Nothing too crazy at all out of both the players. Looks like Cowman started his gas mining a little bit faster, but other than that, cybernetic scores going down at the same time. So overall, not much of a difference between the two players. They're 4 gas different. Really nothing. Probe getting in here and starting to scout here for Havok, though, so he's going to get a little bit more information. And let's see. All right, both players know what they're both doing. Ooh, Probe actually getting caught out right there by Havok's probes, and it does get zapped to death, taken out. Alright, well we got a Twilight Council actually coming down here for Havok, and generally that's why you're building the pylon near the back of your mineral line. It's to hide whatever tech you're going to be placing, because you're going to have your, you know, your mothership core and your stalker up here, so that a probe might get as far as here or so before it gets picked off. So you want to make sure not to have that tech out here in the front, and you want to throw it right behind your mineral line, so that's why both players have that there. We'll probably see Cowman's tech, whatever he decides to go, here in a minute. It looks like it might be Stargate. Generally, you're going to get your mothership core out a little bit faster if you're going. Oh, Dark Shrine already started there, up in the top for Havok. And Cowman needs to throw down a Robo or a Stargate very, very soon. Start either an Oracle or an Overseer, or it's going to be a rough time for him. No game sound. That's interesting. I hear game sound. Not sure why that wouldn't. Oh, okay. What would be inputting? Alright, game sound up a little bit more once we get around to it. Expansion going down for Cowman, and he's in a really, really dangerous position. His Robo will finish before the Dark Templars actually start heading across the field. There's a proxy pylon. There's actually 2 started up here out of Havok. So there should be those Dark Templars. You should see him. Wow, he actually started a Stargate right behind that, which is interesting. He didn't even wait to see if his Dark Templars are going to get any damage done. He hasn't scouted. He hasn't seen that anything is, you know, being tossed out on the field here. And now these sentries are moving down. They're going to try and kill off this. But the Mothership Core actually gets it. That pylon going down for those Dark Templars. But none are actually being warped in. So they decided not to. Oh, okay, there's the first one I was going to say. Kind of interesting.
Game pause.
Pause, please, going down. Hotkeys appear to be incorrect for Havok. No problem. Very mannered out of both players there. Always nice to see that. We have actually, he's in a little bit of trouble, Cowman, because right now a Immortal is going to be coming out. And there is a Dark Templar about to head into his base. Now, an Overseer, or an Observer actually doesn't take very long to get boosted out, and right now it's going to come down to see if there's a force field. He notices it coming in and perfectly force fields it. Good reaction time out of Cowman. So if he just keeps throwing those down, he should be safe, and this should get out in time for him to not actually take any damage from these Dark Templars. Now at the same time, Havok, oof. He actually sneaks up the ramp right now. The sentry, one of them goes down. Some more Stalkers being warped in. It looks like he's going to back out because he sees that Robo facility churning, and he knows that an Ob is coming out on the field. So not overcommitting to his actual Dark Templar production. He has 2, but he has plenty of gas for more. So just trying to get a measured amount of damage out of these 2 Dark Templar. He burned a little bit of Sentry energy. Then he killed another Sentry. Killed a probe or 2. Not a whole lot of damage actually going down out of those, but at the same time, the Dark Shrine is also nice to have because you're going to be able to morph them into Archons, and they're just great to keep a little bit of scouting out on the field. And it looks like Stargate production is in full swing here for Havok. He has a Phoenix out, a second one is coming out on the field, so he's going to start trying to harass with that, and there isn't really much anti-air out on the field right now over here out of Cowman. He has 3 Stalkers, and that's it. I thought he had something else, but that's it. 3 Stalkers. So really not a lot. I guess the Sentries, but you can't really rely on Sentries at all to do anything to Phoenix. They're way too slow, get picked up and die way too easily. And right now, Havok set himself up in a pretty good position. Unit count, though, Cowman is way up in probes, so as soon as his economy starts kicking in, he's going to become way further ahead in army value. But he actually hasn't discovered or revealed what tech he's going to be going into, because right now all he has is a Robo. He doesn't have a Bay, he doesn't have Stargate, he doesn't have a Twilight Council, so there's really not that much going on for him. Cowman's scanning across the field here. He's going to see that the new Heart of the Swarm style of PvP is what's going on over here out of Havok, and that would be Dark Templar morphing into Archons and Phoenix's Void Rays, as opposed to the more classic straight into as fast as you pretty much can Colossus Rush. These Phoenixes getting a few kills here. They're actually going to pick up the Sentry, pick it off. One of them almost going down there, but they're all going to get away. He also forced the Photon Overcharge on the Natural Nexus, so that's always good as well. A few Stalkers up in the main base to help try and protect from that. A Forge immediately going down. It's probably going to start some cannons and upgrades here in a minute. Twilight Council finishing up here for Cowman, so we've finally discovered that he's going to be going some type of Blink Stalkers, actually, it looks like. And it looks like this Mothership Core is probably going to go down, so he goes ahead and throws down the Photon Overcharge, because why not? A Phoenix dies for it. A second Phoenix actually does go down as well, not able to get away. A little bit of sloppy control there out of Havok. So a Mothership Core for 2 Phoenix, you actually want to take that every day of the week, because Mothership Cores, I mean, it didn't have any energy left because it tossed it off, and then it's going to start with a decent amount of energy, so actually not bad at all to lose at that point. And limiting that Phoenix count is always good, because 2 Phoenix, not really going to do anything. 3 Phoenix, not really that much of a threat. Actually, the Phoenix is almost getting caught out there by Cowman. His blink is about a third of the way done. He's starting to clear his rocks for his natural expansion, which Havok does, or his third. So Havok does see that, and now it's up to him. Oh, he doesn't actually see it. He didn't twitch up. And he doesn't move over to see it, although he probably will in a second. Cowman chilling over his opponent's army with an Observer. He sees that this base is up, but it's not nearly as saturated as his is. He knows his Econ is up. So is he going to try and move into more Econ, or is he going to try and do some type of push here in a minute, because he's going to have an advantage not only in upgrades once those finish, but also just in pure army size. Phoenix is taking out Mothership Core again right after it finishes. Stalker's not able to blink yet. They really want to. One blink could have probably picked off 1, if not 2 of those Phoenix. Definitely 1, probably 2. Cannon going up in the Naturals middle line. Cannon is already up in the mains. These Phoenix aren't going to get that much more damage done, especially with 2 of them being so low on HP. So they're going to go ahead and move across the field back to Havok's base. And Cowman keeping a good observation. He doesn't see any Void Rays. He doesn't see anything like that. Phoenixes have been constantly moving across the field. The first Void Ray actually starting up. I thought it was weird that there wasn't a Void Ray. Charge almost done here out of Havok, which is really interesting because this is actually the exact same build that killed Cowman 2 nights ago. So we'll have to see. Cowman very macro focused though. He's going to pick up his third, and if he can hold on, he's going to be in a really great position in about 3 or so minutes as far as production, where it's going to be extremely difficult for Havok to start catching up. Right now Havok's ahead, but he's going to start falling behind pretty soon. But a proxy pylon being tossed out on this side of the map, Havok looks like he might want to start getting aggressive. And there's not really that much to hold for Cowman over here. He has a few stalkers, army values quite heavily in favor. Look at all that gas difference. 50% more gas means a lot in Protoss versus Protoss. Probe count is in Cowman's favor, as we talked about. Some probes getting picked off there. Now these stalkers have blink, and that hasn't actually been revealed yet. Blink moving up. Looks like one Phoenix almost going down, but actually all 4 of them getting away with such a low amount of HP. Cowman has got to be a little sad about that. Meanwhile, Havok is dancing his Phoenix back across the map, happy to get alive with just down into the red HP on those. Some more Void Rays coming out, and Havok looks like he's going to start moving across. His +1 finished. His charge is done, and he's going to move across before, and he has seen that there isn't a lot of tech over here out of Cowman, as far as there's no Colossus on the field, there's no Void Rays, there's no Archons, so he's going to be in a pretty happy place, and he's going to enjoy his position. He's going to go ahead and try and move up. A full wall going in pretty much here out of Cowman. He did this last time too. It's a good idea. It wastes actually a lot of Zealot damage when they have to beat down through these walls. The first Colossus is on the field. There's not really that many Phoenix left on the field. There's 4. They're all very highly damaged. So you want to be really careful when you engage here. Those Phoenix are going to go straight for the Colossus, which there are now 2 of. But let's have to see. Not sure Havok's going to be able to break this. It's 2-1. The upgrade advantage is just 1 armor between the 2 armies. We'll have to see all of the Zealots getting bottled up. They barely get able to charge. The Void Rays moving out. They're not actually focusing the Colossus. They're focusing the Stalkers, which is a little bit of a mistake here. And these Colossus are just dealing so much damage. They actually look like they turned the entire fight by themselves, and Havok is going to get forced to back up. Charge finishes here for Cowman's army as well, and he's going to chase this Immortal down. And he's on 3 bases. Like I said, if he could hold off for about 3 more minutes, which is about 12 minutes, at 15 minutes the production just was too high, and Cowman is going to force this army back. And Havok looks like he's going to have to GG out of this game. He just doesn't really have any forces left on the field. He has a few Phoenix, and that's really it. It's just those Phoenix. He picks off a Zealot as his consolation, and I don't think Cowman understands how much of an advantage he actually has right now. He hasn't moved across the field and really scouted anything. A few Dark Templars getting picked off, a few Zealots as well, entirely for free. And Cowman's going to move over here, pick off this Proxy Pylon, and then maybe look into moving out across the field. It's literally 4 Phoenix and 56 probes versus a 6,000 army value army out of Cowman over here. So he's just going to march across the field. And I'm assuming right when he starts knocking at the front door, Havok's just going to GG out of the game. But Cowman being very cautious. His 3rd is up and running. It's very highly saturated. He could actually start a 4th with the number of probes he has. But he hasn't yet. Now it's an Archon. 3 Zealots and a Phoenix. So Cowman's moving over here. He's like, okay, that's weird. He didn't knock that down. Does he not have a 3rd? And now some Dark Templars moving in for him. Unfortunately for them, Photon Cannon finished right as they're moving up. He's probably just going to want to merge those into Archons and then push his way up the ramp. Yep, he warps in another Dark Templar, and it looks like he's going to wait for this warp in / Archon merging, and then he's going to move in to finish this game. Maybe? I don't know. He's being so passive. 4, 5, 6 Colossus? Oh my gosh. 6 Colossus versus 1 Colossus and 4 Phoenix, essentially, is what this fight is going to boil down to. And there's just no way Havok's going to be able to hold this attack at all. But he's merging more Archons. He's going to wait till he's maxed, apparently. He was up 130 food to 84 or something like that, and he just waited till he maxed out to push in. He's very afraid of Phoenix. He's very worried about them. I mean, when he moved up with those Dark Templar, he didn't really see anything but a few cannons. And there's just no hope for Havok's army right here. He's going to have to GG in a second. Pushing forward, these Archons just kind of smashing in everything. The Zealots charging and taking out those Colossus. And GG is called. So game 1. Going to Team Xtraterrestrials.